Hello and welcome. It's Kelly here from spiritualawakeningsigns.com, and if you don't know me, I help people like you who are going through spiritual awakening to reduce their symptoms and make that process a little bit easier, because it's not easy whatsoever. It's a very challenging experience, but I'm here to help. And with that in mind, if you're struggling with the symptoms that you've got right now, we've got a free 5-day course which is available on our website, which will show you everything that you can do, because you can make a real difference with that to start reducing your symptoms and make awakening much easier. That's available at www.spiritualawakeningsigns.com. Okay, so today's video is going to be pretty cool. So it's Energy Clearing 101. It's everything you need to know about how to clear your energy throughout spiritual awakening. So by the end of this video, you'll not only learn everything that you need to know about energy clearing, but by the end of it, you're going to be equipped with real, live, actionable steps that you can immediately use to disperse that energy, that overload, and feel better fast. So I'm really excited to get into that. Hello Jasmine, thank you for watching. Thanks for joining us. I'm so glad you're here with us. Okay, so let's get into this. So the first thing I want to talk about is energy overwhelm. Energy overwhelm is the reason why we need energy clearing in the first place. Energy overwhelm is when we've absorbed too much energy from the people, the places, and the things around us. That's what energy overwhelm means. And throughout awakening, we magnetically absorb the information around us like sponges, like literal sponges. And energy overwhelm is what happens when our systems have absorbed too much of the energy around us, when we're overloaded and our souls feel like they might just pop if they absorb anything else. It's a really challenging experience. And our systems start to buckle under the pressure of that absorption for two main reasons. There's two main reasons why we start to struggle. The first one is that we're already at full capacity and we can't handle taking on any more energy or any more information. We're already full to burst, okay? And the second reason is that our systems are continuing to absorb that energy despite the fact that we actually can't cope with any more. There's nowhere else for it to go. We're just getting fuller and fuller and more overwhelmed. And that's really what causes this. I'm starting to buckle under the pressure. I feel like I can't handle any more. Our systems are completely overwhelmed and overloaded. So, I mean, what's so bad about energy overwhelm? That's the question. But for those of us going through a spiritual awakening, energy overwhelm can make us feel incredibly unwell, extremely unwell. And that can range from just feeling a little bit off, all the way up to feeling anxious, confused, or even that you're having a full mental, emotional, psychological breakdown. It can really be that serious. Sometimes we just intuitively know. We just know. We know that it's happening. We know that something isn't quite right. Even if we're not entirely sure exactly what that is, sometimes we know. And that can create fretting. It can create anxiety and overwhelm without any seeming cause. We don't know why we feel that way. We just know we don't feel right. And that's why it's much easier to have a comprehensive list to be able to check your feelings by, which I have created to make it easier for you. So here are some key signs that you need to clear your energy. This is the list that you can use. And don't worry, by the way, guys, it'll be out in the article throughout the week as well, so that you can use that as a baseline to check what's going on. So key signs that you need to clear your energy. Number one, sudden mood swings. Sudden mood swings, so experiencing emotions or feelings that have no seeming cause. They come on quickly and you can't seem to work out why you feel that way. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, okay? Feeling exhausted or drained after interactions with certain people, conversations with certain people. Feeling the need to hide, to be alone, to shield yourself from the world or from other people. Feeling anxious, agitated or overwhelmed but not knowing why. That's probably the biggest key sign that you need to clear your energy, when you feel not good and there seems to be no cause, no understanding for it. Okay, other key signs, sensing someone else's energy in your space or body. And that is very noticeable. We're very sensitive, and we know when someone else's vibes are in our space, you get this uneasy feeling. You just know that something's not right. Feeling unsettled or fearful from sensing negativity, darkness, lower vibrations, that kind of icky energy. Picking up on, sensing or experiencing other people's health complaints, other people's emotions, other people's issues. Feeling the shock or discomfort of being around conflict, arguments or aggression for hours afterwards. So this is different in that everyone gets a little bit upset when we've been dealing with conflict, arguments, upsets. But if it's not lifting a few hours later and you still feel like it's happening now, you've held on to that energy, your system's still holding it. And the last key indicator is feeling that something's not right or off, but just not knowing why. That's always a telltale sign. Just having the sense it's like something's up, I'm not sure what it is. Big indicator that your energy needs cleared and something's just not quite right. So we know the signs, and you can let me know in the comments if you recognise any of these signs in yourself, if you've got any right now or if you've had any in the past. We know the signs, we know what to look for, we know how to identify it when it crops up. So now we need to know how to clear our energy. And just so you know, it's a good practice to do weekly throughout the entirety of your awakening, even if you don't have any current symptoms. That's a really important thing to do to keep you balanced. And we're going to talk more about that. So how do we go about doing that? Well, before we get into what you can do to clear your energy, I want to cover the dangers of what you absolutely should not do. Okay, there are some serious pitfalls to awakening and to energy clearing and using certain methods, which can cause us a lot more symptoms, even if you don't have any current symptoms. But they can make it worse. They can bring this sense of chaos, this sense of loss of control. And I know that because I struggled for years with energy overwhelm. Every time there was a full moon, every time I left my bedroom because I was hiding there, I struggled with this for absolute years. And I remember there was one day in particular I had a really bad day. It was the worst. It was a really, really bad day. And my sensitivity was cripplingly painful. And I was overwhelmed to the point where just other living things breathing made me feel like I wanted to scream. I don't know if you've ever been at that level where you can't take any more. And my emotions were so incredibly heightened. It was so intense. I was anxiety ridden. I felt like I could have climbed the walls. If it would have made any difference, I would have done it. I felt absolutely horrendous because I hadn't come up against this level of energy overwhelm ever before. Never before had I had it so intense. So I had no idea what was actually causing the problem. It was massively distressing and I had no idea what to do. So in classic Kelly fashion, this is me letting you into who I am, I started to do everything. Right, I went full on, let's do everything. So I went through my box of crystals. I've got a lot of crystals, and I put them in my pockets, and I was holding them in my hands and trying to kind of meditate and tune into that energy using grounding crystals. But I still felt completely agitated. So I started burning sage. I've got my feather in the cool shell, and I'm wafting it through all the rooms of the house and all the corners and stuff, trying to make it feel clear. I still felt agitated. I took essential oils and I rubbed them in my hands, and I'm brushing them through my aura and breathing them in deeply. Well, by which point I was hyperventilating them in. It wasn't breathing in. I was like, oh God, I'm freaking out. I need this to change. I was really panicking. I was just starting to feel progressively worse and worse. Everything I did, I felt more panicked and more horrible, and I didn't know what to do. So I ran a bath. And I put crystals in the water. How's this for going over the top? Crystals in the water. I put ridiculous amounts of essential oils, splashing all that in. I played an energy clearing meditation and I lit some candles. And I thought, okay, this has got to be calming. This has got to be clearing. This will do the trick. Because I was really climbing the walls by this point. I felt just awful, horrendous. So I'm lying there and I'm trying to relax. And I can hear the energy clearing meditation. It's all soothing, let everything go and clear your chakras. And I'm sitting there, you know, feeling like I'm going to bite my fingernails off, and I'm trying really hard to relax, and I start to become aware that my family are speaking in the next room, calmly speaking, quietly, normal thing. And the more I hear them, just the murmur coming through the wall, just a really soft murmur, the more I started to feel like I was going to absolutely lose it. I couldn't take any more. So I shouted loudly and said, please be quiet, or something to that effect. And then started sobbing, started absolutely crying my eyes out. And, you know, I came out and I said to Mum, I was like, I can't take any more of this. And she was like, any more of what? I don't know what's wrong. I didn't understand what that really was. But the thing is, that's what energy overload is. That is energy overload. When you feel like you're in the midst of absolute chaos and it's torturous, it's bombarding, and silence is even too noisy for you. That is energy overload, and you feel like you just can't take any more. You just cannot withstand any more. It's a horrible feeling, and granted that is a more extreme level of the attacks, but I mention it because I want to stop you from getting to that point in the first place. You know, that entire bad day could have been avoided if I'd known what signs to look for and what would make it worse so that I could avoid it, and how to nip it in the bud at the first sign of it coming up. You know, because what we're talking about here, these methods that I'm discussing about, you know, be careful, don't use these things, it's not just guidance, it really is for your own safety, because I know the dangers of what this stuff can take you to when you're going through awakening. For everyone else, not a problem. For us going through awakening, risky. So it could have been a very different day, and that's why I'm sharing this story with you. So the one thing that I want you to take away from this video, right, and it's contrary to what most of the spiritual community will tell you, but I'm putting this message out there because I know, because I've lived it and I see it in my clients. I get hundreds of emails. I know. Traditional energy clearing doesn't work for us. Seriously, it doesn't work for us. When we're going through spiritual awakening, it's different. It doesn't work for us, at least not in the same way. Certainly that's true. And you might be finding using traditional methods like crystals, oils, or incense either isn't working, isn't lasting, or maybe you're actually starting to see this link that it's making your symptoms worse, like I did. So be willing to look at that and consider the link there, because I think that when you start to recognise the things you're using to energy clear and the fact that you start to feel worse, there is actually a link there that you'll notice. Hopefully after this video you'll start making little links and you can avoid that in future, because there are things that you can do to clear without having to use those methods that are going to make it worse, okay? But let's talk about the reason why. And can I just say a quick hello to Danielle. Hi Danielle, and hi Michelle. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you guys coming to watch today. Thanks so much. So the reason that traditional energy clearing methods don't work for us throughout awakening is because we are already so incredibly charged and highly sensitized just as a byproduct of spiritual awakening. So anything that affects our energy in any way at all, actually tends to charge us. And that's what people don't tell you. This isn't common knowledge. This is a realization that I came to myself through trial and error and then with my clients. Nobody tells you that. It tends to charge you more. So even things that are specifically created to clear your energy or to ground you will actually make it worse. That's the challenging thing. So it's a bit like, we become a little bit like an electrical charger plugged into the socket in the wall, okay? And the more information that we soak up, the further we get charged, absorbing that energy, heating up, overheating, and then eventually exploding into flames, right? Don't worry, we're not going to be bursting into flames anytime soon, but it can feel that level of urgency, it can feel that intense. So it is like that with spiritual awakening, and that's how we tend to feel. Our bodies just can't handle that level of energy that we automatically soak up throughout our daily life. We're already under so much energetic pressure, emotional pressure, physical pressure. It's too much for us, okay? That's why this happens. So that means that simple, traditional methods that everyone talks about and everyone encourages you to use, like meditation, incense, crystals, essential oils will actually have the opposite effect. Every time they affect our energies, they inadvertently stimulate us even further. And that's what creates our bad symptoms. That's what the free 5-day course is about. So if you haven't checked that out, get onto spiritualawakeningsigns.com and get it, because that's the first step. But it's a problem. You know, if this stuff is stimulating us even further when we're trying to get clear, it's a problem, because if we can't clear ourselves using the normal go-to methods that everyone else uses, our symptoms continue to get worse and they get more out of control. They get harder to handle, particularly anxiety. If you've got a lot of anxiety, you need to get into coming away from some of those traditional methods. And like I say, it's all listed in the free course. So I'm going to give you the golden rule, and then I'm going to break it down a little bit easier just so that you can remember. So the golden rule of energy clearing throughout awakening is: don't use things that are going to charge your energy, stimulate your kundalini, that energy that goes up and down the centre, or alter your energetic or psychic space, right? It's a bit of a long-winded golden rule, so I'll make it simpler. Avoid using meditation, incense, crystals and essential oils for energy clearing, because they will have the opposite effect. I'll say it one more time. Avoid using meditation, incense, crystals and essential oils in order to clear your energy. They will have the opposite effect. They will make you feel worse. Okay? Now, if you can get fully grounded, particularly using the techniques in the free 5-day course, you will be able to cautiously add these things in throughout your awakening, but not right now. Not right now. These things are contributing to the problem, so let's take a little break from them for just a little while and focus on energy clearing instead to get us started. So now you know what not to do. Please remember these. Like I say, it'll be out in the article throughout the week so that you can have another look at it. I've put all of this into an article for you so that you can bookmark it, you can come back to it, you can use it again and again. Let's get into what you can actually do to clear your energies, how you can clear your energies in a way that actually works, because honestly, not a lot works for us throughout awakening. Very difficult. And I've had a lot of trial and error with that. So you're probably wondering, well, if I can't use meditations, incense, crystals, oils to clear my energy, then how can I do it? That's the challenge, because we're taught that those are the ways to do it. That's what everyone else does, and we should be able to do the same. Unfortunately, we can't, because it makes our symptoms a lot worse. But there is a safe method that you can use. I'm going to share it now. So the best and safest quick fix that I've found to clear energy congestion during awakening is tea tree oil. And this is contrary to the general advice that I give of avoid oils at all costs, right? Yes, oils are very overstimulating. You need to be very careful with oils throughout awakening, because they are very overstimulating to the chakras and they can actually trigger a spiritual emergency, okay? This is not like light fluffy stuff that I'm saying, oh, I'll be kind of cautious there. I'm really serious about this. You need to be very careful, and you need to take responsibility for protecting your energy and the state of your mental health, your physical health as you come through awakening. Some of these things can trigger a spiritual emergency. I've been through it. Don't go there, okay? So oils can be really dangerous to a degree. Everyone's a little bit different, but I would say generally avoid them. However, I've found that tea tree oil is the only one that's truly earthly enough to be perfectly safe, to quickly cleanse your energy when you're in a fix. And I say this with full confidence, and I take responsibility for what I'm sharing with you here, because I've tried it over and over and over again with lots of different people coming through awakening, and with myself, with clients. It's definitely absolutely perfectly safe. And it's very earthly, so it's the perfect thing to use. It'll really cut that energy and you'll feel a change. So how to clear your energy safely? Tea tree oil is the only safe oil that you can use during spiritual awakening to cleanse your energy, okay? You just put a few drops in the palms of your hands, just a few drops in there. You'll get it straight from the bottle. You can get it in you can get it almost anywhere now. It'll be in health sections, it'll be in sometimes medicinal sections. You can get it loads of different places, alternative health shops, spiritual shops, you can order it online, it's really cheap, but you want the pure essential oil. You're going to put a few drops, maybe 4 or 5 drops in your hand, depending how much comes out. You're going to rub it between your palms, and then what you can do is just hold it in front of your face and just breathe it in, a few deep breaths, just breathing it in, letting it out, letting it come through the inside, the internal. Okay, because when you put that on the palms of your hands, it's actually absorbed right into the bloodstream. This really comes right into your skin and your body. So it's getting the internal. And then what you're going to do is, once that's rubbed through your hands, you've breathed it in, you just run it through your aura. Okay, just running it over. Now there's no particular technique to this. You just imagine that you're sweeping the area in front of your body, over your head, down over the shoulders, down over the arms. You're just running it through. You can do that down over the legs and feet. You just do that literally for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, or longer if you feel that you need it. And that's absolutely enough to clear that energy in an instant. Okay, you should feel a marked difference, particularly if you haven't been clearing throughout awakening or have been using the traditional methods. You should notice a big difference with tea tree oil, and please give me your feedback and let me know how you get on with it, because I hear it from people all the time. They're in total dismay, they haven't been able to use anything, and then they've been able to use tea tree oil, and it's a lifesaver. I always have it with me. Really handy. However, like everything else in spiritual awakening, it doesn't do the whole job, and I'm going to explain why. So with energy clearing, yes, tea tree oil is a safe oil to use, and yes, it will make a difference. It will clear some of your energy, but it will only scratch the surface. So the particular challenge that I've found in working with only tea tree oil is that although it will clear your energy and freshen things up a bit, it doesn't address 4 very specific needs that we have during awakening. I'm going to share those with you now. It doesn't clear the energy congestion caused by other people's emotions. You know, that stuff that we absorb, that stuff that we soak up. It won't clear the energy congestion that's caused by other people's emotions and feelings. It also doesn't clear the negative energy picked up from other people's health concerns and issues. So that's when you've maybe, this used to happen to me all the time as an intuitive therapist. I'd work with someone with tinnitus and then have ringing in my ears for the next 3 days. You know, or you talk to someone and they tell you you've got a sore knee, or maybe they didn't tell you first and you're like, oh, it doesn't feel right, I've got aches or pain. Or someone's got a panic condition and you spend time with them and then you start feeling a bit, oh, I don't know, it feels so good. It won't clear that, right? It won't clear the stuff that you pick up from someone else, their emotions, their health concerns, their issues. It can't clear that. It also can't soothe the shock or impact of being around arguments, conflict or negativity. That's a particular challenge for us because we're super sensitive throughout awakening, and we're also very gentle people, so being around that is really difficult. It can't soothe that. It can't lift the shock or the kind of impact of being around that type of energy. And also it doesn't unhook the energy of energy vampires or people who invade our space and cross our boundaries. It can't do that. It can't unhook that energy. It can't untangle it. So when I came up against these challenges, I realised that I needed something a bit more heavy duty. I needed something not only to clear the energy, but to literally unpick the entanglement, so that the energy of interactions with certain people wouldn't envelop me, or at least that I could clear it whenever it did. Okay, we do that with healing. Healing is the key. It's the other part to energy clearing that people don't talk about. It's the other part that makes sure that all this entanglement and all these issues that you pick up from other people, all the emotions that you pick up from other people, and the shock of being around that negative vibration, that's the thing that makes the change. So tea tree oil can lift the immediate energy, it can lift a bit of that and cut through it and make you feel a bit better, but we need to dig a bit deeper to stop the fact that you're getting completely congested by energy all the time, okay, because it is a part of awakening and it happens often. Now, I was fortunate that I had been studying healing and alternative health methods for a number of years, and I was already an experienced intuitive therapist. So I was able to use my healing skills to clear and heal at the same time, and it meant that I was starting to actually unpick the patterns that were causing the energy congestion, the energy absorption in the first place. and it got right to the root so that it was less likely to reoccur. Okay, less likely doesn't mean it'll never occur, because you're a sensitive being and you're going through awakening. You will pick up other people's stuff, but it definitely made it less likely to happen. And I was clearing daily, but I was also working regularly to clear the cause as well, the cause of the congestion. And that meant that as time went on, not only was I able to clear my energies quickly and easily, but I was also absorbing less icky, negative energy as I went about my daily life. And that is a win. That is a real win when you can get to that point. So with that in mind, I've created this month's meditation specifically for that. That's what this is all about. It's called the Rainbow Light, and it is the Rainbow Light energy clearing. That's what it's all about. And what it will do is it will cleanse your energy. It will get rid of negative vibes, and it will also cut attachments to unhealthy relationships. So it's starting to bring in some of that healing that we're looking to work on, to change the way that our energy absorption happens all the time. So it's a quick and easy way to clear your energies and get free of negative vibes. And I recently developed this. It's just a short meditation, it's only 20 minutes long, as a way of clearing our energies and healing the issues at the same time that stop you absorbing them in the first place. And it's got 2 key uses. So this is something you can use again and again. There's 2 key uses. So you can use it in the moment when these negative vibes strike, when the negative energies attack, to get them out of your energy nice and quickly. Okay, so the minute you feel that, you can play this meditation and get a clearing. And it's taken care of, it's done, it's cleared and resolved. Things are unhooked and untangled. But the second use you've got for it is that you can use it daily or weekly as a healthy practice to keep your energies healthy, clear and balanced. That's quite important during awakening, to make sure that you're getting ahead of it. It's the same concept as prevention's better than cure. If you can do that weekly, you're stopping yourself from getting to that point like that day I did, where I was having a meltdown in the bath and shouting at my family and sobbing in a heap on the floor. You want to get ahead of it before the symptoms become unmanageable and it throws your week and your day completely out of alignment. Thank you for the love, everyone. Thank you for the love and the likes. Really appreciate that. So this particular guided meditation, the Rainbow Light, will help you to clear your entire energy, to clear your chakras and your auric field. So the space round about your energy, it's going to clear that too, with Rainbow Light, which is a full spectrum. That's what we're working with. It will lift mental fog, confusion and mental blocks. So these little limits in your perception where you can't quite see things clearly. It'll clear other people's energies from your space, which is what we're looking for. It'll retrieve energy fragments that you've lost or energies that have been taken from you. So this is where we're getting into, abuse patterns and people overstepping boundaries, people taking too much for you. If you're a bit of a people pleaser, been there, I know. But it'll recall that energy back to you. It'll energetically divorce you from unhealthy or negative relationships, and it'll cut connections to energy vampires, actively cut those connections to people who dominate, control or abuse you, whether that's past or present. So it's not just clearing in the moment, it's clearing and then healing some of the issues that are causing this in the first place, that are causing these psychic hooks that people can kind of get their hooks into you and dominate you. So it's specifically for you if you tend to absorb other people's emotions, moods or issues, if you pick up dense or heavy energies from other people, places and things, if you feel that your energy might be unclear, congested or invaded, if interactions with other people leave you feeling off, which I know that happened to me a lot throughout awakening. Interactions with anyone made me feel off, if I'm honest. If you're affected by energy vampires, control or abuse, if you struggle with assertiveness or boundaries, we're clearing that out to make it easier. And if you'd like an effective way to clear your energies, your chakras and your aura fast. Okay, so it can be used anytime you feel you need an effective and quick cleansing from any of the issues that we've just listed. Anytime you need it. You just watch, you relax and you let the meditation do the clearing for you. So it's a brand new guided meditation. It'll quickly and easily clear you in less than 20 minutes. And I will link to it in the comments box below so that you've got a little link to it. You can have a look and see if it's a fit for you. And I will take any questions just now. If you guys have any questions about the energy clearing, anything that we've covered at all, just pop them in the comments box and I'll take a few minutes to answer these now. So let's see. So Jasmine says, wonderful tips for us. I'm so glad you like them. Linda says, thank you. You're so welcome. Michelle says, so certain types of meditation are better than others during awakening. Well, to be honest, Michelle, I would generally say meditation should be generally avoided throughout awakening. Now, that being said, what you can do is if you can fully ground yourself, particularly using the techniques listed in the 5-day free course that we offer at the site, spiritualawakeningscience.com, if you can get grounded enough, not using traditional methods, it's the same as the energy clearing stuff. If you can ground yourself, you may be able to use certain meditations very well spaced out throughout your awakening and very cautiously used, because it does overcharge you and overstimulate you. So I would tend to advise not to do it. The meditations that we are providing here through Spiritual Awakening Science are different in that they are channeled. It's channeled healing and channeled adjustments that are being made by Ascended Masters and guides. I've got a collective of guides that we're working with, and they know exactly what we need, what levels we need things to, what's safe for our awakening, and they're honouring that as they bring this energy through. It's all done to get us to, you know, our full divine authentic selves. It's how can we get to ascension completely supported without crumbling. That's what they're there to do. So whatever they bring through is perfectly safe for you to use. Now that's going to sound like I'm saying you can use my meditations but don't use anyone else's, and I don't want to do that, but generally what I would say is avoid meditation or test it. So make sure that you're very careful about what you bring into your space, and maybe have a week where you do one meditation and give it 2 days, 3 days, and be like, okay, how do I feel? How are my awakening symptoms? I think I'm okay. Do it again. How are my awakening symptoms? And if at any point you do that and you start to feel your emotions become intense, you don't feel so good, you're anxious, you're kind of shaky, you're overwhelmed, you're getting any of the signs or symptoms listed on the list, you'll know that the meditation's not really ideal for you. Okay, so you would just avoid, you would just take space from it again. And Michelle's just saying, thank you for that, clearing that up. I